Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. Well, today's video, Orico versus Sabrent. Now, the Sabrent drive is supposed to be 3.2, goes backwards to 3.1, and of course we got the same thing here with the Orico, except the Orico's a little bit different. It's a 3.2 Gen 2 2x2. However, you do have to have a 3.2 Gen 2x2 port, which is totally different than even a straight out, Gen 2 3.2. And of course the Sabrent is just 3.2 and below. So out of curiosity this morning, I thought I'm going to speed test them both because both units have the exact same Western Digital drive in them. Okay, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The Sabrent's running much slower, and I want to show you that too. And both have their original cables, so no monkeying around here. And but for 40 bucks for the Sabrent, I mean, it is a good deal. They're both aluminum cases, so and it was 50 bucks for the Orico. But I mean, the Orico is a higher end case, right? So of course, it comes with a little bit more money. Anyways, so we're gonna speed test these for you guys, just on the main top one, just so that we see what's going on with them. So we're gonna do the Sabrent first. Then we'll get to the whole reason why I did this video, because I thought this was rather interesting, because both should run regardless of their controllers. They both technically should run the same speeds, right? So, but that's not what we're getting here. However, we are going to make a change to the Sabrent. I wish this program was actually a lot faster. This is Crystal Disk Mark. Okay, so that's done. So we got 721.87 on the read, 941.73 on the write. Okay, interesting. Now, one of the things I've also been playing with is cable direction as well. So I'm going to just flip the drive. It does the same thing. Just got to flip it on the one end. Let's try this again. Because I did find with a USB-A to C adapter, the Sabrent is very picky on the direction the cable goes into the adapter, which would be likely the same with any drive that you're trying to use that's C to C, and then using the C to A adapter. Now here, this tells me that the cable direction is correct. So, because now we're seeing much higher read speeds. We're seeing 1023, 1024. So cable direction, at least on some drives, how you plug the direction of the cable in can actually make a difference in how fast it runs. I don't know why, it's not supposed to be that way, but this is what I've been running into in the last while. So maybe check your own gear out too. Maybe one end is in the wrong direction. It's a weirdie. Okay, so 1024.54, 943.68. Now, that's pretty respectable numbers, okay? That's fantastic. So, we're going to quit out of this, and we're going to leave the Sabrent here alone as far as the cable goes and the drive. Now we're going to go into our Orico. So some people figure where the writing is on the cable should face up. Not always the case. So, well, at least not in the Sabrent for sure, because here the label has to face down at this end, and well, it is actually facing down at both ends, come to think of it. So when you have the drive in this orientation, yeah, we still have Sabrent here and Sabrent here, but it's the way I marked it so that I could use my adapter. But the cable direction does make a difference here. Now this drive I expect to run slightly faster, because I do have 3.2 Gen 2, I just don't have 3.2 Gen 2x2, which would be much faster, would be 20 gigabit. So I'm kind of like probably full blast 10 gigabit, because this is actually only a 10 gigabit unit only for the Sabrent. So, and I have done testing on my Mac too, by the way. There's a video on my channel, and yeah, even the Mac with a Thunderbolt 3 port, yeah, we're getting around the same sort of deal for numbers. So you're not helping yourself by getting the Oracle for a Thunderbolt 3 computer. Thunderbolt 4 would help for sure, likely, because you should have 3.2 Gen 2 2x2 on Thunderbolt 4, theoretically. So we got 1067.22 and we got 1015.76. Those are very respectable numbers. So now I'm going to make one change here, and that's simply just flip the drive unit around, which is basically flipping the cable, and we're going to see if we get a difference on this drive. And this drive comes with a Type C to Type A conversion connector with it, so you can put it on any computer. 1065.53 so far. Okay, now it's going to start its write cycle. Now, even though we're not getting full power bore speed out of the drive, we're not going to anyways, just because of the kind of cases we're using here. And of course the port makes a difference, right? So the big thing is the port is what restricts your drive too, right? It's not just the controller in the unit. But yep, that's still pretty respectable either way. So it seems with the Sabrent, it really doesn't matter which direction we have our cable going. In the Oracle. The Oracle doesn't seem to matter, but the Sabrent does. The Sabrent makes a difference which way that cable is flipped on its own cable, and that's a weird one, you know. So I found that kind of interesting. So we're pretty close to each other as far as, you know, these things running the same speed with the same drives, but you got to make sure of that cable direction. So when you speed test your Sabrent case, write your numbers down and then just flip the drive, you know, pull the cable off, flip the drive the other way, or flip the cable at one end, and then speed test it again. Whichever one gives you the highest speed, that's the one that you're going to go with, because otherwise you restrict it. Because one thing I found on the Mac too was with the Sabrent, if I plugged it in where the cable I know is running optimal speed, I'm easily getting like basically just shy of 900 read and write consistently, which is fine. But if that either end gets flipped around the other direction, right, when it's plugged in, then I might get about 32, and you hear a little bit of a nasty sound out of your speakers at a very low volume, but it's going to be still a little nasty. So it's kind of like, well, this isn't exactly a cool thing here. But yet we don't see the same major effect with the Sabrent on the PC, by flipping the cable, but on the Mac side we definitely see that, ooh, this is not a good direction for the cable. And you might actually think, if you are a Mac user and buying these Sabrent cases, that there's something wrong with your computer or something wrong with the drive. Well, it's the cable. It has to be around a specific direction. So I have one last test I want to do here with you guys, and it is with the Sabrent. So we're going to put this here, and we know which direction that should be facing now. And I'm going to try a different cable here. Now, this is a cable from a cheaper unit, and I do mean cheap, but still Type C regardless. And we're going to plug that in. Now, this is a much longer cable. I don't like the short cable Sabrent gives us. I think they're just way too short, actually. Fine if you're a laptop user, but not for desktop users. Okay, so we're on drive D. Let's go. I thought you guys might actually find this pretty educational, because, you know, if you've got spare cables laying around and you've got a bad cable, I mean, hey, you know, we should have no problem doing this, right? So we got 101886. That's pretty good. 1019. Now this cable came off of a, it was a cheap Type C case. I can't even remember the brand of it now, actually. I'd have to go way back in my Amazon order list to find out. But the case didn't survive long, but the cable is fine. So sometimes you just don't go too cheap on your cases, you know what I mean? Because, yeah, it can definitely go against you. So we have 101908. $945.56. So that's not bad. But what happens if we flip the one end here? Let's see. Just flip it at the drive side. Alright, let's go. And then this will be the end of our testing here. I do have a shorter cable here as well we could test, but there's no point. I've already done the testing. I'm getting all the same results. So it's nice to know I got a few cables spare kicking around. So 1012.75. Still going. 1013. Now, I wouldn't say that one case is necessarily superior to the other than the fact that the Sabrent is $40 and it's straight out 3.2. The Orico is 3.2 Gen 2 2x2. So it's a more beneficial case. It'll be a much faster case at 20 gigabits if and only if the port on your computer is 3.2 Gen 2 2x2. Which mine is, like I said, it's a Gen 2 3.2, but it's not a 2x2, so I don't get the 20 gigabit access. But I'm not too concerned with it. So there's our results with that cable. So anyway, very interesting, I thought. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I have a lot of fun experimenting with stuff, and I'm kind of like, well, this is kind of fun and neat. You know, I'll go back to this one more time, make sure I get the cable direction right, in the right direction. But anyways, when it comes to Thunderbolt, I use Intamin cases because they're only 120 bucks, and I'm not an Acasis fan at the price that Acasis charges for the same bloody speed. And it looks like I got my cable backwards, did I? I probably did. Yeah, I think I did. But Thunderbolt is your best bet on a Mac. You know, if you want optimal speeds out of drives in the enclosures that you're building, then just go with Thunderbolt. Now, of course, you have to have Thunderbolt Type C port on your Mac. So, and at least Thunderbolt 3 or higher, okay? And I would go with just Thunderbolts. See, we got to slow down here, so I got my cable the wrong direction this time. So, we flip that around that way, and we quit, and we go back, and let's hit that again. But as far as PCs go, I mean, unless your PC has a Thunderbolt port, there's no point in buying a Thunderbolt case or even a fast enough drive. And with the Thunderbolt cases, you do need to use Express 4 drives in the Thunderbolt cases for the Mac, and you would want them for the PC regardless anyways, if you have a Thunderbolt port in your PC. So you need Gen 4 drives and to go inside, because in this way you're going to get the most speed. Gen 3 drives I find don't run near as fast, even if they're the fastest Gen 3, which is 35 by 35, right? The Gen 4 drives seem to be the best suited for any of the Thunderbolt cases. Anyway, so that's what I got for you on that one. I think as far as things go, you could go with the Sabrent case, or you can go with the Orico. But I would say that if you know for sure you only have a 3.2 straight out Gen 2, or you have only a 3.1, then I would go with the Sabrent. It's $10 cheaper, but if you've got a 3.2 Gen 2 2x2, then the Orico is going to be your winner. But either way, I think the Orico may be a winner anyways, just because it's a larger case, better heat dissipation. It does come with the silicone cooler pad, as well as a metal heat shield that also goes over top, and it has more airspace in it as well. So it's going to run a lot cooler as another benefit too. And you know, it already comes with the adapter to go, you know, from C to A. So you do get a little bit more for your money, and the drive does seem to run a little bit faster, at least on my computer, because I have a 3.2 port on here. The Sabrent's nice. It's nice and slimline and everything, which is really good. It does have a silicone pad built in, but it won't even come close to touching your drive. You're going to have to add another silicone pad on top that's at least 1 millimeter to 2 millimeters thick in order to get enough pressure squeeze to, you know, compress the case closed shut, so that you know for sure everything's touching. Because otherwise, yeah, that pad that Sabrent puts in there doesn't even touch any drive. It's completely and utterly pointless. So you're kind of not really getting your money's worth in that sense for that one. But you know, hey, to each his or her own. I mean, that's the way I look at things, right? But I think knowing what I know now about these units myself, I would actually spend the extra $10, go for the Orico, because we don't keep our computers forever, and the next computer I get may very well have 3.2 Gen 2 2x2, in which case the Orico at 20 gigabits will finally come to life at 2.2 speeds, where the Sabrent will always be the same. So I kind of look at it that way. It's kind of like a future-proof thing, going with the Orico that way. Both, though, are very good cases. They're both very well built, so you know, I have no issues. Direction of the cable doesn't seem to make any difference on the Orico. Where the Sabrent, you got to figure out which direction is giving you the highest speed on your drive, and that's the way you always got to remember to put it together. So, which is kind of why I marked nail polish here, because I actually have an adapter so that I can put this in like this, and then I can go into my Mac, and I know exactly what direction it's going to be, so it's going to run at that, you know, 900 megabits per second. Whereas if I have the cable in the wrong direction, well, it ain't going to do it, you know, and then I got to get the frustration of flip this around and type of thing. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment below on this, you know, and I think they're pretty close to each other, but I personally, in future, I would start more looking at the Orico as far as in the non-Thunderbolt side. I would definitely look towards Orico for that for sure, because I think it's a really great drive. I saw a lot of mixed reviews on it on Amazon, but most of that's because people don't realize what friggin' port they have. They just figure they got Type-C, it's the newest because it's a brand new computer, it's got to have the newest, and it doesn't. Not all computers even have 3.2 USB that are brand new, you know, and especially lower end computers, they're just going to be 3.1, at least for the next while still. Maybe next year or year after in the PC world, you know, it might get more often 3.2 Gen 2x2, for example, right? Technology changes all the time. That's the thing, right? And manufacturers do eventually follow suit. Some are just a little bit slower at it than others. So, you know, always look up all the major specs about a, well, in this case, a laptop, before you even buy it, so that you're getting exactly what you require for, you know, ports on the computer and speed of those ports, etc. So you can also buy the right gear for your external drive units that you're going to be using too, so you have the optimal speed advantages. So, well, that's a whole other video to really get to the nitty-gritties on, so we'll leave that for another day. But anyways, in the meantime, see you on the next one.